Hi, I'm Chris Smith with Delta Media Group and Real Estate Marketing and Technology Magazine. I'm joined today by the team at Watson Realty Corp, based out of Jacksonville, Florida. They're a family-owned company whose values put the customer first above all else. Thank you all for joining me today. I'll start with the chairman of the board, William A. Watson Jr. Mr. Watson, what is Watson Realty Corp and what sets it apart from the other real estate firms across the country and in the Florida and Southeast Georgia markets in particular?
Okay, well, thank you. Our commitment to legendary quality of service. That's just not good service. That's going beyond good service. And we have a lot of commitments, but that's the primary one. Our commitment to focus on long range versus short range. Our focus to commit on reinvestment in our businesses, in the real estate business. Our commitment to stay positives. Positives create positives. Negatives create negatives. Our commitment, and you'll like this, to never run out of cash. And the reason for that, it means that you can walk. If you're negotiating with somebody or with a bank and you've got the cash, you don't have to accept their offer. You can negotiate from strength. And our commitment to share professionalism, to build an organization that will help our associates and our team be more successful. I had a consultant and an expert come in and he said, I figured out your game plan. And I said, well, what do you mean our game plan? He said, you're positioning yourself better than your competitors. And I said, well, what do you mean about that? And he said, well, first thing, you buy your offices, and we own all of our offices except for 2. In fact, we have a lot of leftover offices that we moved out and rented, and that's a huge asset. Means you ever need money, you can put a mortgage on it. But he said, what you do, Mr. Watson, is you lock your fixed expenses to a certain range, and you have the option of maybe appreciation. He said, your competitors tend to lease in the shopping centers and they get their rents accelerated. And then if the shopping center needs their space, they kick them out. He said, you've got a huge advantage. And then he said, you also build sites with rental space. And I said, well, that's right. I hope in 10 years for the tenants to be paying for half of Watson Realty's cost. And in 20 years that they're paying more than what the lease or rent would be for Watson Realty. And but it meant that this gives you strength in real estate cycles to to really be better protected than your competition. The other thing is our affiliate businesses. During the last cycle, we probably would have closed 5 offices, but we didn't. And Ed Foreman came up with this. He said, let's look at the rooftops. We know the real estate office is losing money, but property management's making money. Title's making money. Mortgage is making money. We didn't have insurance at that time. We did have an insurance relationship. It was making some money. So that meant we could keep this advantage without having to sell it or close it to control your costs, because the site could be saved for when the market increased. Back in the beginning, if you go back to maybe a little philosophy on Bill Watson, I always loved playing Monopoly. I did not like playing Scrabble and all of those games. That wasn't my calling, but Monopoly was my calling. And really, when you think about it, the real estate business is a lot like Monopoly. And I also love the being an entrepreneur, getting paid based on your contribution. So in 1952, I was delivering 325 papers on a bicycle. Now that was, you had to stack them up and drop off part of them and then come back. But I was making $55 a week, which is $750 a week. And that was 1952. In 54, I bought my first car, with $1,000 made from delivering papers. But that taught you how to make sure you didn't have a lot of extras or you didn't make money. Make sure you followed up with the customers. Then the other thing that had such an influence on us and Watson Realty was I was working for an NAPA warehouse and Genuine Parts, 15 months. And I said, I've got to get a good education. If I don't get a good education, my whole future will be, it'll be affected. Not that education makes you successful, but it opens the doors for you. So I met Janelle Wilcox, and she was going to Stetson. So I went to Stetson University. And by the way, she shared that she took this rough diamond and polished it. She really helped refine Bill Watson to some of the finer features, but the environment made such a difference. Our real estate professor said, where's the wealth in the United States? And our eyes got big, and he said, the wealth is in real estate. If you want to participate in the wealth, you must in some way be associated with real estate. It may not be in sales, it may be in mortgage, it may be in title, it might be in rentling or whatever the situation is. But he opened our eyes and he made it so exciting. He brought in guest speakers who were his past students, and it just made all of us excited about the opportunity. I also made some good decisions, and one of them was pick your friends. And the gentleman I roomed with for 3 years was super smart, and he was measuring to be a pre-law and to be a real estate attorney, and was very committed. And he had an influence on me that we were both really committed to our goals to graduate. And I asked him, did he enjoy it? He said, yeah, I wished I hadn't studied so much in college. I would have liked to enjoy it more, but we were focused on the opportunities that it presented for us. I was also influenced by the ROTC program. When I joined Stetson, it was right after the Korean conflict in '55, and we had to take 2 years of compulsory ROTC. And the captain said, are you going to get your degree? Or are you going to get your commission? And I said, have you seen my draft card? It says 1D, deferred for college. And he said, why don't you join the reserves? Reserves meet in the business school. And when you get your commission, you'll get longevity. So I joined the reserves as a freshman. When I graduated and reported to Fort Benning, I got a bonus start because my reserve time contributed to 33.5% more base pay than the average second lieutenant. And that really gave me additional revenue to set aside that maybe I could go into the real estate business and have the capital to make it last. I guess the other thing I picked up was I was Sigma Nu, and they really had high standards. And it emphasized that you have got to do your best. You've got to be a winner. And we have 2 of our alumni who are 3-star generals, congressman for 25 years, the attorney who won the suit against Lucy, a lot of outstanding individuals. But the emphasis was on synergism. You can take 2 + 2 if you have synergism, which means you have a team. And if you have the Watson team working together, it equals 5, maybe 6, maybe 7. So based on that, I really thought, why not do more in real estate and make it work for you? When we, probably another person that had a significant influence was Frank Skipper, opened our first office. I was ready to open an office on the west side. We were in the south side, across from Kmart Shopping Center. It was a two-bedroom home that I'd got the zoning changed. And he said, don't do that. he said, open in Arlington, which is closer to your South Side office, and get the synergism of the two offices. And that was a good decision. And we've always believed in the synergism of Watson Realty. And when we can locate the offices where they support each other, it's a tremendous benefit to help us. We did later on open the West Side office, and it was tougher than the closer one because of the synergism. I was also influenced by Gifford Grange. We were Grange, Watson, and Thorne. He came in, he said, I'm gonna run for the legislature. I said, well, I'll help you. And by the way, it was an educational experience. And he lost. I learned how to silk screen signs that the firemen taught me, put them on poles till 12 o'clock at night, and he lost. And I said, Gifford, you notice we've been losing money these last 3 months. We got to get back to working, listing and selling. He said, I'm gonna get elected. I'm gonna keep campaigning for the whole 2 years. And by the way, that's like farming. If you keep campaigning or farming, you get real results. By the way, he got elected, but we separated. And I said, well, I want to build a real estate company. I want to build it on blocks on a block. So we separated December 16th, 65. I sold him my stock. And by the way, we were best of friends, and I always supported him. And he was a good contact and a good support. The other big learning experience was in 1968. I met with our 7 associates, and I said, my goals and my dream is I think that there's going to be more branch offices. We didn't have, but maybe Stockton, Watley, Devon had a couple of branch offices. And my vision is to grow and to become more neighborhood offices and control the areas. And my 2 top associates, 2 ladies, said, oh, Mr. Watson, please don't do this. Our office is like a little country club. We get along so good. Don't bring in new people to our organization. By the way, I did listen to them for a couple of months. And 3 months later, they gave me notice that they were leaving, that they were going to start a company with another 2 from another prominent realtor, Bow City Realty. And I committed at that time, make your decisions on what are for the best for the company. And don't be run by making decisions that are not maybe popular, but not the best for the company. That sort of began the beginning of Watson Realty. And we've always had high standards. Our success by selection program, and not everybody is right to be on our team. And we also need to let them know it's a disservice if you hire somebody who fails in the real estate business. And so we've had high principles, and we focused our legal defense fund on, we would pay the first $500,000. Remember what I said earlier, never run out of cash. You must make a profit. If you don't make a profit, you cannot be aggressive in the marketplace. And this gave us the opportunity when little problems came up that we could do public relations, whether we're liable or not. But what really galls the customers is for the salesman to say, well, I'm sorry, our errors and omissions says that I cannot talk to you. We get in and solve it, and maybe we take care of our public relations, and we think it energizes our customers that Watson Realty is better than the competition. They're bigger than the competition. And then we also never violate business principles if you can help it. And those business principles are dress for success, treat people like you want to be treated, never step on people, stay on the positives, treat your people like you want to be treated. And all of that just makes a different organization.
You know, it sounds like the foundation for Watson Realty Corp was established early on, and now it's become an incredible company that you have on your hands here. So
And I
you're doing
guess
things
on
right.
a last comment was Dave Stone was a guest speaker from California and was a national speaker. And we had just become number one. And he said, you can't stay number one. We became number one in 75. He said, the life cycle of number one is maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years. He said, the reason for that is you get outnumbered. It means you develop your network, and then the competition keeps growing and growing and growing, and you become a smaller and smaller percentage. We have been number one, I would say now through certainly 21, whether we're tied in 22, but that's since 75, which is an unbelievable track record.
I'm sure you're proud. There's no doubt about that. I do want to jump over to Regional Vice President Jeff Fagan. Now, not only do you offer traditional services for buyers and sellers, but you also have Watson Construction Group, which provides building, electrical, repair, and renovation services. Can you tell me about how this division of the company got started and how it benefits the communities you currently serve?
Sure. I think I'm going to expand on the question a little bit, if you'll permit me.
Sure.
Bottom line, and Mr. Watson articulated some of this previously in his comments, but what is Mr. Watson's primary focus is legendary quality of service. And the belief system expanded to the development of a multitude of service-related businesses, of which construction is part. Okay, so for instance, we have a mortgage company that we wholly own. We have two title companies that we wholly own. We have an insurance company now that we wholly own. We have a CAM, or community association management company, that we wholly own. We have a division of the company that manages property management, and we have the construction group. So all of those components interrelate to real estate transactions in some form or fashion. To deliver outstanding quality service, we know and we understand, because of all the variables that involve a real estate transaction, the more aspects of that we can influence, whether it's a mortgage, a title, insurance, or whatever, particularly owned by being vertically integrated, owned ultimately by one family. We know that we can make a decision at times that allows a transaction to close and gets the customer what they want. For instance, if somebody's buying a house and their mortgage isn't perfect and it's not saleable on the market, Mr. Watson may well loan the money personally to make the deal go through or make the transaction close. The same could be said for an insurance or construction. Construction is focused mostly in the Northeast Florida area. They do travel into my area. I'm in Central and South Florida. The focus to the consumer is more in the North Florida market. So that's sort of a quick snapshot that all these companies evolved or were purchased or acquired ultimately to better control the transaction, better provide outstanding service to the consumer, and to help them do anything they need to do in real estate.
Ed Foreman, president of Watson Realty Corp. The company has grown exponentially to the point where you now have over 50 offices. What are some of the factors you attribute to the growth?
Well, Mr. Watson has a unique ability to recognize the talent in people. He also is willing to delegate and give you the opportunity to grow. If you make a mistake, he solves the issue and treats it as a coaching and learning experience. We found the best people are receptive to feedback. The best people strive to constantly improve. So we focus on retaining those folks. When you have a company full of people like this, who are all pulling in the same direction together, then exponential growth comes easier.
Now, Jeff, I'll come back to you for this. To achieve the level of growth that we're talking about, you must have quality agents and quite a few top performers. What are some of the qualities that you look for when recruiting new agents, and what does that process look like at Watson Realty?
Basically, what we do is all of our brokers actively recruit or look for talent. And that talent may be currently in the real estate industry, or frankly, it may be in another service related industry, whether that is at the retail side, but it also could be, for instance, some of my best success has been with school teachers, nurses. These are people that listen, right? There's people that teach. They're people with high levels of empathy, typically, good factual judgment. We, in fact, and Mr. Watson was an innovator in this, we do profile people. We ask them to take a personality profile. There's 5 profiles. All of them are good, but they're different. And if you think about a prototypical accountant or a prototypical engineer, right, they could technically do real estate, but would they ultimately be happy doing real estate, or are they wired a little bit different? But you want people that are going to be engaging. You want people that know how to speak, think on their feet, think well, right? Show some compassion, and most importantly, listen to what the customer is saying, because our goal is to do one thing: serve the customer. So we do have top performers, and we hope to keep them all. But part of our school teaches people how to be brokers, right? So some of these top performers decide they want to try it on their own. That's okay. We don't love them to do that, but we welcome them back, because running a real estate company is far different than being a realtor. So we have a concept that we look to strive for, or to get people in. We teach them how to do it. We train them inside our offices, and with the marketing programs that we have, as well as the training programs we have, we teach them how to sell real estate.
Well, Jeff, you mentioned it, and I want to touch base on it a little bit. Your company does have a feature called the Watson School of Real Estate, and it offers both pre and post licensing courses. What do those courses entail, and how's the program different from some of the others that are offered in your region?
Actually, there's not a lot in the state of Florida. It's dictated what is taught in real estate school, and that there's syllabi, I guess is the right word, that are formed up for every course that's mandated by the state. So you have to comply with the state. The difference we bring is hopefully we have a higher grade or a higher level of instructor. We have, in fact, as I look at the screen right now, Mr. Watson's an instructor, Ed's an instructor, Carlotta's an instructor, I'm an instructor. So we have some quality instructors that have taught it all or do teach it on an active basis. So the course material is the same throughout the state. That said, it's how you deliver the message.
I want to jump back to Mr. Foreman. I was looking at your company's core values, and I see that encouraging entrepreneurship in your associates is important to you. In what ways does the training and support programs that you provide do this?
First, Watson's core values are shared with everyone. They include quality, teamwork, unity, service, enterprise, as well as inspiration. These core values are not only taught, but they're also lived every day. Entrepreneurship specifically is critical to the success of an agent's business. So that's why we've invested the time, effort, and money into our training department, which is constantly offering educational courses, opportunities for idea sharing. We've trained our brand new sales associates as well as agents who have a long, successful career in real estate. Beyond training, we have the entire corporate office full of supporting staff that assist with marketing, IT, e-business, and everything beyond. We are here for our sales associates and all of our team members because their success is our success.
Well, in an industry where you see tons of burnout, especially during tough times, it's important to continue to foster motivation for both agents and staff. I'll go back to Jeff Fagan. What are some of the strategies that you have that inspire your agents to keep going when the market shifts or even just starts to slow down?
Burnout does happen, and it's usually it can happen, particularly during tough times in the market. But the bottom line is the people that are most successful in real estate love to serve. They love to serve people. And when the crash happened, I was purchasing cases of Kleenex because people were emotionally distraught, and some of them felt they were responsible. They're not responsible for the crash. Just like the stock market, every market goes up, every market goes down. we can help people. We have to sometimes remind them the market changing isn't your issue. Your issue is to help your customer achieve their goals. They may still have to sell the house. So you have to sometimes bring them back to center, help them understand, and getting back in touch with, why are you here? Why did you get in? It wasn't to make money. It's to, I mean, you make money, yes, but the real core is, what is it that is driving you? What's your why? My why was to not lose my house because I was getting fired, right? So all my broker had to say is, hey, Jeff, don't forget, right? So because I didn't want to lose my house, I wanted to provide for my children. You want to give a better life to your children than you gave to yourself. It's finding out what that why is, and our brokers are very good at talking to their associates about that and retouching that why, and then retouching the whole act of serving the public.
Well, let me introduce Walker Ragland. He's the senior marketing manager. And I noticed, Mr. Ragland, that one of the core values you have at Watson Realty Corp is service. It says on your website that you bridge technological innovation and face-to-face service. Can you tell me more about how you do that and in what ways Delta Media Group technology fits into that equation?
Yeah, service really is a core tenet of Watson Realty Corp. We need to provide our associates with those innovative tools that get them in front of their past, present, and future customers. So using those various tools that we have in ProLink Plus, our associates are making those regular human touch points with their contacts via email, social media, advertising. And not only that, we're able to provide customers with actual pieces of valuable material like those market watch reports and newsletters via ProLink Plus as well. And it's touch points like those that get our customers to pick up the phone or schedule a time to have a conversation with our associates about their real estate needs. So we want to strive to be the brokerage with the technological prowess, but also the one that never loses sight of the importance of those face-to-face interactions.
So what were some of the key factors in your decision to work with Delta Media Group over other technology providers? Because we know there's a lot out there that you can choose from.
Yeah, like other brokerages, we've gone through that arduous process of researching CRM partners to work with. And a few things about Delta jumped out to us. Firstly, that Delta is family owned like Watson is. So we knew there was a lot of value overlap because of that. Secondly, that we heard from some of our fellow leading RE brokerages that also use Delta, and they really enjoyed the process and the end product. And then finally, we wanted more than just a vendor that helped us, launch a site and CRM and then vanish. We needed an ongoing partner that helped us achieve our technology goals, which we found in Delta. So now we're more of a technology forward brokerage, and Delta's constant development of new tools helps us be competitive and offers a unique value to associates we're recruiting.
So aside from using the technology, you've also opted into Delta's custom content and SEO services. How have those marketing services made life easier for you at Watson Realty Corp, and how have they impacted the success of the company?
They made our lives easier by freeing up the marketing team to focus on those bigger goals and projects when we're not worrying constantly about writing blogs and tweaking our site's SEO to keep it high on search engine result pages. I also love being able to talk with our Delta contacts and kind of bounce ideas off them about SEO performance and picking their brain on improvements.
Mr. Watson, being a family-owned company that believes in treating all of your customers and associates like family as well, was it important to partner with a technology provider that shared that background and belief system?
Oh, absolutely. We were impressed with Delta Media, and we liked you. And by the way, that makes a big difference in customer relationships. But we felt that you wanted to help our team, and we could work together and both be winners.
Well, since this is the February issue of Real Estate Marketing and Technology, February Super Bowl month, as everybody knows, and the theme is all about getting ahead of the competition, increasing market share, and making it to the real estate end zone. So I'll hand this one off to Ed Foreman. What are some strategies you have at Watson Realty Corp to help you accomplish some of those goals, and how do the marketing and technology come into play?
Well, one thing, Mr. Watson created a very diverse organization that gives us a competitive edge. Some of the companies are not subject to the housing market, which means right now we have several family of services that bring a great advantage. We are emphasizing the strength of our leadership team. Leadership is extremely important, emphasizing our integrity, trust, and long history of success. We've been doing this a long time, and we know how to navigate all the markets. Associates can count on us in any given market. We are focused on coaching, training, helping our folks to be the best they can be. It is not only important for them, but also important for their families.
Mr. Foreman, what are some of the goals you have at Watson Realty Corp for 2023?
Well, again, our sales associates are very important. Our team members are very important. So our focus is the success of our team. Their success creates our success. Helping them achieve their goals will achieve ours. So our goals remain focused on supporting their goals, which are generating quality business, providing legendary quality service, and being the comprehensive real estate solution to their customers.
So are there any new exciting plans or initiatives that you have in the works at Watson that you want to mention?
Yes, we've had some very successful merger acquisitions over the years. This is an important strategy for the future growth as we move forward into 2023 and 2024.
Well, I know before we go, I know your property management division also uses Delta Media Group. So I want to ask Justin Garrett, Executive Vice President of the Property Management Division, how has Delta Media Group been a benefit in that area of the company?
Delta Media Group's been essential in providing a continuing theme, I think, through this phone call, and it's resources. So the resources that are available to our associates to truly bring a level of quality to the table in the property management field as well. Earlier, we were talking about the team and the team that's on this call, and I would like to just say what a privilege it is to be a part of this team that's both on this call and in this company. You know, the talent, the experience, and professionalism are truly unbeatable. So Watson Realty Corp has a culture that cultivates both professional and personal development. Mr. Watson, chairman of the board, has been tremendously influential to me and many others to become an expert in my field, as well as a patient and kind person in general. You know, a person who focuses on finding a solution and doesn't just focus on the dollars and cents. You know, oftentimes property management tends to be a very challenging element in real estate. Our responsibility to the terms of the lease agreement commonly put us in a position to enforce rules and or agreements that, you know, sometimes can upset one or both sides of the party to the lease. So we try to approach this in a way that aligns with Mr. Watson's vision, legendary quality service. We may need to deliver bad news at times. However, there's more than one way to do that. So we strive to provide the best possible experience through the resources that we have, our experience, our hard work, the education, and our documentation processes. We know that real estate assets require the utmost of attention and care, and we believe that we address this in a way that sets us apart from our competitors, some of which Delta Media Group helps us out with the marketing, the advertising, the exposure to the public. Most all property managers say they provide some of the same services, the best marketing, strong application criteria, rent collection, on and on. We look after your property as if it were our own, is something you hear often in property management. However, I'm proud to say that we don't only say that we do all these things, our team can prove it. And oftentimes in our listing appointments and our meetings with potential new clients, it includes demonstrations of exactly what we do. So when you entrust a true professional with your property, you really can't rest easy knowing it's being managed correctly.